Welcome everyone to episode 6 of Talk of the Rift. This is a podcast all things about League of Legends, from current state of the meta, upcoming changes, and professional play. I am your host Logan, and joining me today is Eli.
Hello.
And Coobs.
What's good?
At the end of the show, we do a live Q&A, so if you want to submit your questions, you can tweet them to us at Talk of the Rift or post them in the live Twitch chat. If you're listening to us on YouTube, hit the like button, and if you're on Twitch, be sure to give us a follow. How are you two doing today?
I'm doing good.
I'm excited about today's episode. We got a lot to talk about.
Yes, absolutely. I'm very excited. We got the Warrior cinematic dropped, or at least an updated Warrior cinematic. We've said that years ago for Warriors, but new league cinematic to celebrate the start of the new ranked season. We've got a lot of LCS format changes, and patch notes, of course, came live last Tuesday, so we got a whole lot to talk about. For starters, though, we're going to talk about the Warrior cinematic. What'd you guys think?
It's so good. I loved it. That was so well done.
I really like the kind of mellowed out version of that song.
Yeah, it sounded awesome.
Lot.
Yeah, I liked it better.
I think a lot of people reacted like this on Twitter, and I kind of had the same reaction, whereas like I heard it and I was like, oh, it's the same song. I was like, okay, well, it'd be kind of nice to get a new one. Like last year's Awaken was so good. Right. And then it started playing, and I was like, oh, I really like this. This is eerie and creepy, and I love it. So good. Yeah, what's your favorite? Go ahead.
I was just gonna go into my favorite part. Is I like that you got to see the champions interacting with each other in like a meaningful way in the cinematic, whereas like it's not just they're fighting each other. You get to see a little bit of the world and why they're fighting each other. The story gets brought in a lot more. Yeah. And I also like specifically with that Vi, Caitlyn, Urgot fight, where you get to see Caitlyn without her hat on in a disheveled state. Vi's gloves get ripped off and she doesn't care. She's going to come right back at you. I loved that.
The lore connections were probably my favorite part. Because like we've seen when Sylas came out, we've seen a huge like revamp of Demacian lore with like anti-mage and everything. And in this patch, Sylas gets the Freljord skin, and he's like wearing the Freljord skin. He's got Sejuani's like soldiers with him, like when he breaches the gate. It's so good. I love it.
There's a whole comic thing about the whole Sylas Lux line, which ties into this too, which is kind of cool.
Right. That was the one they did with Marvel, right?
Oh, yes. I didn't know that they
all
did
of their
together.
comics are
comics.
All their comics are Marvel.
I know that.
Sweet. Yeah. Can we talk just for a second about how freaking huge Galio is?
Yes,
actually?
That was like my next topic. He is so like he's big. Like obviously he's
very
big.
Large.
He is huge. He comes in and it's just like I was like, where'd the army go? And then he just like moves the wings and I'm like, oh damn, he's just hugging him. I love it.
I love that Ezreal is getting the tier.
I love that they finally just used Ezreal like once. Like Ezreal's such a popular champion. They've never used him like in cinematics. And
haven't they?
No.
Wasn't he in the Rise? Wasn't he in the Rise one?
No.
He was.
Okay, he's like one of the frozen champions because he was like a part of Samsung's like victory team. But like they used him like in the original like reveal of League of Legends 10 years ago, but like in the actual good cinematics since the Nocturne, Garen, Tryndamere, Baron one, I would say those and on, they've never used Ezreal.
Okay.
Obviously they use Kai'Sa because Kai'Sa.
Well, and I was surprised to see her because it didn't make sense to me right away, and then I realized that those were all Void minions.
Yeah, I was watching on my phone like this morning. Like I wasn't even out of bed yet, and I was like, oh, it's like little undead things or something, and then I was like, oh, Void minions.
I thought we were gonna see a Malzahar, is what I thought we were gonna see. I was looking forward to that. I was like, damn, they're hitting all my champions.
One of the comments I saw in the video was like it clipped the start of the Ezreal Kai'Sa thing where they're fighting back to back, and it's like me, a humble mid laner, trying to get CS from the ADC that randomly roamed mid.
Oh yeah, baby. I love the something I didn't get right away because I'm dumb was the Sylas stealing Garen's ultimate.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, where did Sylas get a sword? And then I was like, oh, that's right, because it's the alt stealing.
Urgot just got run down.
How about the fact that Urgot autos outranged Caitlyn? Can we talk about that really quick?
Well, and Vi doesn't even his gloves just smack him upside the head. What's going on, Urgot? Man up, dude.
somebody posted like patch notes if the video was actually like patch notes.
Yeah.
And one of them was that Vi can ignore any amount of CC and Urgot's ult. She just loses her gloves.
Yeah. Well, her ultimate this patch is now unstoppable. So that was a thing. But she has gloves on in the game. But continue.
It was unstoppable for the dash.
Right.
Now it's unstoppable through the full animation.
Right.
If I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Once the uppercut, then she could be targeted. But now
I distinctly remember a game where somebody zoned at like the top of the Vi ultimate, and then they just kind of floated down, and she's like, I don't know what to do with my hands right now.
Yeah, it's it makes her better. For one.
Anything else you liked? I'm trying to. I feel like I'm forgetting.
Chain Daddy. A lot of Chain Daddy today.
Yeah, Silas was dope. Silas was real dope. I was happy to see that. Lux using her ultimate, using the magic. That's how she gets her wand, I guess.
That was the big thing. Is that that's like the first time canonically she's used her magic in front of Garen.
Yeah. Everyone seemed pretty chill about it.
Yeah, nobody was real upset about it. I mean, Galio came in and.
In the comics, is this whole big thing of like hiding her like abilities.
Right. I didn't read far enough into him to know if she used her magic in front of Garrett or not. I just know
I think
that
she did, but he
knows. It's weird
also
though.
Been passed out. I can't remember.
It's weird though. No, Garen's standing there at the end. Like he definitely.
No. In the comics.
Oh.
Right.
The weird thing to me is that she summons Galio, like, and the way she does it, it makes me think that that's a thing she's done before. So that's probably not magic, or at least it's some kind of.
Are canonically best friends, and Galio has to be awoken.
Gotcha. So whatever that was is fine, but when she's using her ultimate, I would imagine is the like at the end where she's like charging that final spark. Yeah. That must be the magic that's not okay.
I guess.
Well, Demosthenes just hated magic. That's why the whole Mage Revolution started.
Exactly.
Damn, we're getting into a lot of lore.
I love it. I want
my
segment on lore.
My wife was like, "Well, haven't you read the comic?" And I was like, "No." She was like, "It's really good.
It's actually pretty good.
It's really good."
And so she started telling me about all the Lux Silas stuff, and I was like, "Well, she like freed Silas on action." She's like, "Well, yeah," and I was like, "Oh, okay, never mind." I was like, "I guess I don't know anything." My bad.
She's like, "That's so like 3 years ago. What are you talking about?"
It's how far ago is it actually? Silas is a year now.
A year, I think.
It was last season.
A little over a year, yeah.
Like during.
I think he was after the last Worlds. Yeah, he wasn't out when C9 made semis, so he would have been like last preseason.
Mm-hmm.
March 4th.
Yep.
So he's almost a year old.
Almost. And I've played too many games on him.
No, he is a year old. Just over a year.
No, March 4th.
Oh, March 4th. I was thinking November. I'm dumb.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I looked at my champions I played this season. Sidebar. I played 185 on him. My next closest was like 30.
Damn.
Yeah. That's my boy.
I don't know who my most played champion is.
I have no idea.
I looked it up because I was curious.
They're not doing the year in review this year, so.
It's that's right. Yeah, what the heck? That's like my favorite. That's like the reason why I would play through the season.
Yeah, I agree. That was like my favorite thing ever.
That's why I always last hit all the minions before ending the game so I could up my CS numbers.
Well, and you wanted a higher grade.
No, it's mostly the end of the season.
I always do it for the grade.
For me, it was 5 minions.
No, I didn't care about those.
S.
No, for me, it was about the postseason, the end of the season stats.
I do it so I can sit back and be like, "Oh my god, you guys didn't break 200 CS. Oh my god." All right. Next on the agenda is patch notes. Patch notes came out on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday morning.
Wednesday, I think.
Got
a lot of changes. Set is not out yet. I was gonna have us talk about Set, but he's not even out yet for me to play, and that upsets me. So
a little annoyed.
He does come out in 10.1. I think if you look at you get those cards. I got a card the other day for that, and it says that like you can unlock it on like January 14th or something like that. So I would imagine that's when he's gonna come out. But we'll see.
What do you mean cards?
There's like if you play a game
like
of
a
League,
calling card, yeah.
It's like sets. Think of it as like a baseball card. It's like sets card or whatever, and
sure. Huh.
But
hopefully I can do something with it. I don't want chilling there.
Take it on inventory.
What if they gave him? What if they gave him for free? They're just like, you get a free champ.
That'd be dope. I mean, they have to since they're gonna apparently release them when the day rank starts, and have to deal with all that in my promos.
Ranked starts tomorrow. Sets that.
14th, did you say?
Yeah, it'd be Monday, I think.
Gotcha. Okay.
Any changes in the patch notes that pop out at you?
Oh yeah.
Obviously, we'll get the easy one out of the way because we've talked about it a couple times. Aphelios ultimate nerf is in this patch. It's now 75% on secondary targets with this ultimate flamethrower ability.
Yeah.
And some base stat nerfs. We've talked about this nerf a lot and how we were waiting for it. So,
really, really quickly, to give a little bit of credit to the nerf here, I saw a statistic that blew me away. Aphelios set the record worldwide for any region for a ban rate in Korea at 223%. You would
very
think,
closely by Kali.
Yeah, you would think that it'd just be like 200% because that means that both teams are banning it every game. But they also count remade games in the ban pool, and they don't count as being played, so you can go over 200%. 223 is now the highest anything has ever been banned in a single region. Korea's banned at 223%.
That's crazy. I would have thought, like, who was it? Akali? Was that the next holder?
Yeah, Akali was right behind
I'm just so surprised it wasn't Camille. You could not play Camille for like 3 months.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But he's strong.
Was strong.
You can see with all the clips on Reddit of just getting pressing the button, getting
he's still
kill.
strong. He's still...
Yeah, no, he still is.
Because they just nerfed
everything else.
damage, right?
Yeah, everything else still does the damage. So
I think they can tune his weapons individually.
I saw a clip of Aphelios 2/3 healthing a Lulu from his own platform, and Lulu was under her tier 2 turret.
Yeah.
He didn't use Inferno. That's dumb.
Yeah, that was the
dumb champion.
The rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's so much you can do to make him just better to like play against, and even maybe more interactive to play as. Because like I've been playing him, it's kind of like I don't know. It's just like between the weapons, I feel like there should be more of a difference. Whether it's like changing some of the range on some of them, I don't know. I'm right with nerfing.
You be careful with that. You say that, they'll go, oh, we agree, and they'll just lengthen all of the ranges.
You don't want him to have to get close to anybody.
Yeah.
Is there? So you were gonna, before I chimed in and dropped Aphelios on you, I think you were gonna say something, Coobs, on what champion, the champion that stood out to you for a patch change, for a buff or nerf.
My boy Silas. That's a big one. We can go to that at the end, though.
We should do it at the end because I was going to say I've read a lot of things about the Silas one, so I feel like there's a pretty big conversation behind it.
Yeah.
As we go on.
Nerfed Brilliant Soul for who knows why.
Yeah, was he strong? I didn't realize he was strong. If he was, I totally went over my head. I missed that.
Well, he does fly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I think they just don't want him. I mean, it's basically just they want him to lane, I guess. They don't want him to just perma-shove waves and leave, but I don't know. He can't lane, so...
Is that a reaction to something else getting nerfed?
No.
I don't know what it would be.
That'd be a reaction.
Like he's already bad early.
Right.
Like, he already gets smacked by everybody early.
Like, the only thing... the only thing would be, like, Kassadin. Like, oh, we nerfed Kassadin, so we better nerf Brilliant Soul just so he doesn't pop off. But it's like, that's it? Like, that would be the one, but is it... I don't feel like anyone would tell you, like, we can't play Brilliant Soul because Kassadin's OP. Like in a, you know what I mean?
But no, there's, I don't know. I let him have some limelight. Like you changed him. You that W change that I despise, where it's not even like a toggle. It's like a cast and it comes back to you, and like no control over it. Hate that. Feels awful.
Agreed.
And then he was like never good after it, like not once. So I don't know. Yeah, just let him have his moment.
It's a weird one.
Yeah. My boy Azir getting a buff. I would love to play him again. Which actually is pretty good. But
but does it really change his problems?
No, not at all.
No, his matchups are still
gonna get one shot in these mid game, early game fight things.
Like I don't think there's a champion if you fall behind on that you feel more behind on than Azir.
Not off the top of my head.
Thanks, and Caitlyn.
Useless.
No, I don't play Azir because
Azir's pretty useless.
My hands are dumb, and I can't.
Olaf.
don't even think Olaf, like, you can just, like, just ignore his ear. Like, you can, I mean, because you guess you could make an argument with his ult, but,
Right.
like,
Yeah, he does
I
no
don't know.
damage.
He's just 0 damage from behind, and even, like, slightly behind.
All right, now hear me out. Aurelion Sol.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, at least you can set up, like, you can still roam. I mean, I don't know. I've been behind Aurelion Sol before, and, like, you can still find ways to be useful. I just feel like you at least have like CC and a Q versus he has just the one CC and his R.
I suppose, yeah, because Asol has the stun on his Q.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've been a huge fan of Jungle Jax recently, and I never knew that Rageblade didn't work with his ultimate.
Yeah. So, yeah. No, that's I don't know why that's not under bug fixes, honestly, and why that hasn't been a thing before. But hey, Jax's will take it.
Always. Let's see.
Oh, Mordekaiser nerf. Thank
Yeah,
God.
Mordekaiser.
Oh my God.
I didn't know.
terror.
So funny me. I didn't know he got movement speed from his passive. I learned
Yeah.
that.
It's kind of dumb.
It's yeah, decreasing the duration from 5 to 4 seconds, and now instead of going up to 9% movement speed, it's staying down at 3. Just thank God. Like, now you can actually kite the man. He'll just run you down. So I still think he's gonna be good. His damage is still gross.
And his ult is uniquely useful.
Yeah, yep. And so he's still gonna do just dumb damage for sure. But at least you have a chance of running away.
What about the Nami changes? Which actually are probably one of my favorites.
I
forgot about it.
Yeah, it's kind of Riot even more embracing Enchanter's bottom lane and earned AP Cs.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't be able to pick Nami if you're running Syndra bot or those people bot, but now you can do that. And so does that also slows then, right, on those abilities, right?
Yes.
So Heimerdinger Nami. Those come out fast with the turrets, right?
I don't know if the turrets proc those.
Maybe not. That'd be cool if they did.
I would, if I had to guess, I would say the turret's laser maybe procs them.
His stun and rockets would proc it, but not his turrets.
Would just his rockets proc all 3?
I think the rockets do, because I think the rockets proc Ludens, but I don't think the turrets themselves proc Ludens.
Yeah, but so it's like individual rockets that can go in different ways.
Yeah.
Would like each rocket proc one of them?
Ooh, that's a good question.
So you'd get like all 3 with like a single rocket if you hit 3 or more.
I don't know.
That could be a lot of damage. Time to hit the practice tool, baby.
Now, how many gonna get nerfed or
no?
No. Okay, good.
A couple patches ago, but
that good is very sarcastic. I'm sick of that champion.
I love him. Yeah, Shyvana now has a passive.
Oh, that works with the new dragons.
That works with the new dragons, yeah. Do you see that?
This always was the thing. It just now works with Elder Dragon, right?
No, Cloud Drake. So the Cloud Drake makes the
part.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now she gets her ultimate even faster, which means they buff the E, so more AP Shyvana.
She clears monsters faster, and they respawn more this season, which means just more farming Shyvana.
Do you think this makes her jump up the tier list?
Listen, I already get one shot by AP Shyvana, so I can't imagine I'm going to get one shot any less.
I haven't seen one in so long.
They were pretty popular before preseason.
Yeah, and then Cloud Dragons hit.
Yeah, and Jungle Shyvana is one of those champions that feels really bad to play when you fall behind.
Yeah, that is true.
So, yeah, I think that's fine. But just be prepared to die a lot. Like a lot. When you play Shyvana. Or against Shyvana, I should say.
Go ahead.
Not really a buff or a nerf, but the Thresh visual effects came out.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
I didn't realize that yet until I played with a Thresh, and my experience was dampened a little bit over the quality of play. But the skills look cool. You know.
Yeah, I'll have to see that. Yeah, I saw like some of the videos with it, and it looks like more shadowy.
Yes, and
Yeah.
the biggest thing that I was like,
Which is
surprised by, was the souls on the ground are much more discreet. I almost didn't notice them at first.
They're not mid lane better now.
Maybe.
Won't show up. Maybe they won't notice them.
Maybe. I don't like that aspect. I wish they wouldn't spawn souls if you're just sitting in a brush.
Yeah.
Then it's like you see a soul and you're like, all right, well, I'm just gonna sit on my tower for about 3 minutes.
Time to peace out until these go away.
Yeah.
So Sylas changes.
Yes.
Take us through them, Coobs.
Yeah, so kind of controversial. From what I've seen, which I completely understand. Base stats early got just nerfed hard, but he scales better with levels because of that. But it definitely hurts his like early laning phase.
He lost 60 base health.
Yeah, it's not
Oof.
great. It's pretty
That's
hard.
a lot.
It's pretty. You have to change your way of playing. Like before, I would love to be like, all right, level 3. Let's go ahead and make a trade happen. Maybe even level 2. And now I just like you do that, you're like, you just lose. You lose the trade. But he scales damage wise just so much better. So basically his Q does more damage on the detonation. His W removed like the crit he got to low health enemies, just a flat mark, but now like his healing scales like more evenly. So before his extra healing would only like proc if he was below 40% health. Now it's just like down to 40% health. He gets like 100% more of a heal. So like it's more similar to oh boy, there's another champion like that.
I guess Nami heals more when she's healing somebody that's low health.
Yeah. So
not
it's
Nami,
just,
Soraka.
Yumi.
My bad.
Yeah.
does
So
that
like
too.
so like it's like kind of like the more missing health he has, the more he heals. Yeah, like old Yumi. Which just feels nice, but the mana cost, those mana costs hurt. Going from 40 mana to 70 to 110 from levels 1 to 5, and then his E hits like a goddamn truck. It goes from they like doubled the base damage of his
my
chain he
God.
sends out, and then goes from a 0.2
Holy
ability
crap.
power to a 1.0 ability tower. That thing that hits harder than like most ultimates in the game. My E was like that one, like when you hit that, they like explode.
So they just front loaded his damage like crazy.
Yeah, so like what they're trying to do, I guess, is like make more of his damage come from like his less reliable sources, like the secondary detonation on the Q, which is not, and they lowered the slow, so not as easy to hit. And then or doesn't slow for as long. And then his E is dodgeable too, but his W, right, less damage on low health targets. It's just kind of its flat amount. But they buffed like AP ratios like across the board, like just nutty. So
What's the cooldown on E?
Yeah.
Ranks?
No, it's that I love that, honestly. What people are kind of upset about is through all of this is they removed some fun mechanics you could do. You can no longer, you send your E, the abduct part of it, the second part where you dash to them. You used to be able to throw a Q down as you're dashing. Now you can't. You used to be able to basic attack animation reset off of every ability. Now you can't. And so
more spell slinger E.
Yeah.
Less
he
auto.
just feels like when you go from old Sylas to this Sylas, he's gonna feel more clunky.
Okay.
And you store up his passive stacks where you spin around, do damage. You store up to 3 now from 2, so you can definitely just like throw all your damage out, then auto. You still can kind of weave in autos. It just doesn't feel as good, and that's what a lot of the hate going around is.
And because his E is single target, like he's not gonna be able to shove waves as much because his
his
Q
wave
damage.
blows.
Yeah, so he's got less
his
shoving
wave
power.
His wave clear's awful. I think the detonation damage they made his second detonation damage like do even less damage to minions, which like I was like level 13 with a bunch of ability power and I couldn't clear a backline with a single Q, which I think is ridiculous. So that I don't like. But otherwise, like you do so much damage later on, and that feels very good. So I personally enjoy it. And a little thing that helped me kind of have him go like less clunky is I went Rod of Ager's let me
What the?
Easy for
gather
you to
my
say.
mouth here. Yeah, no kidding.
Hold
Rod
on,
of
hold on,
Ages-
one half a second. To people
Okay.
listening on the live and later on the podcast, I apologize for the music that you just heard. That was Gwyn's theme, and it's very sad. I tried to click a link on Discord and I hit the wrong thing. I apologize. Continue, Coobs.
That's funny.
But I build basically Rod of Ages into Nashers, which gives me the extra attack speed. And so it makes it feel like for me at least, it felt like I could weave in autos more smoothly. So that helped make the champion feel less clunky. I suggest giving that a try as you're kind of switching over to this new play pattern.
Okay.
But you basically you're gonna get shoved in. You can't shove back. That sucks. Don't like it. But that's just kind of how he is now. His wave clear before wasn't even that great, but now it's like almost worse. But other than that, once you get out of the laning phase, you can just start looking for people to kill. Once you get like one of your abilities max, whether it's your Q, you can also max your W first. But then you'll always max E second because 280 damage and 1.0 ability power. Why not? And lower CDR. And then so that just him scaling later, making use of different ultimates too, I feel like kind of goes together with this whole theme. So I'm big fan of how he plays, but there are still some gripes that I have. And that's my Chain Daddy rundown.
You have anything to add to it, Eli?
So the second proc on his E at rank 4 does 230 base damage with 1.0 ability scaling. Which is the equivalent to a level 6 through 10 medium range Fizzult. It is almost exactly the same numbers.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it does more damage like a really Soul alt.
What about a Nidalee Spear? Like max range Nidalee Spear? Way more.
That's a good question.
I'll get on that. I'll get
I'm
back
just,
to you.
and I only say it that way because like this is a single target like BAM ability, and I'm trying to think of like other abilities where it's like boom, and you're like, damn, that damage. That's what I'm trying to like picture in my head. I would imagine that Nidalee Q. It's more than a Varus Q with his W. I could tell you that much. Well, Varus Q also is based off of missing health with the W, but
a Nidalee Spear. A max range Nidalee Spear has 120% AP scaling, so it'd be slightly under max range. Probably a rank 3. Slightly under max range Nidalee Spear.
Gotcha.
So I guess it doesn't compare as much, but it's still disgusting.
I mean, the scaling's better though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
if the scaling was the same.
The lowest range Nidalee Spear is only a 40% scaling. So you'd have to hit that spear from pretty far away to match numbers.
If they gave Nidalee that scaling, she'd be a mid laner again.
Back to mid lane, baby.
Yeah. And nobody wants that.
Yeah, he feels a little. If you played a lot of Silas before, feels a little odd. But once you just get used to the play style, you just gotta kind of think a little differently.
I should probably play a couple games of him because I haven't played enough to like say that I main him, just enough to understand him. And I'd be interested to see what I think of it. Because I probably wasn't good enough.
Early. I think you might like it. It's definitely because of the auto attack animations getting removed. It's honestly like lowers the skill cap a little bit.
Yeah. So
it's definitely more forgiving in that matter and getting your damage out. But like I said, he's scaling with the base stats nerf, with just kind of the poor wave clear. You kind of have a hard time against a lot of champions early on in lane, and which wasn't really the case before. So you kind of gotta, get through your lane, kind of play it, a little safer than you did and look for as many trades. And then pop off.
So this actually makes me feel like, I don't know, that early stats makes it really rough. I think Silas Jungle is probably fine, and actually getting ganked by a Silas Jungle is really scary because of that E damage. But if you dodge it, it's like,
yeah, his early clear is terrible.
Yeah,
you get invaded by anybody, you just die.
Yeah,
like it's super bad.
Probably keep a mid lane or do some experimenting with like Nami bot lane.
Ooh, yeah.
Because that could be absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, for doing some more mealees into the bot. I think you get abused personally, but I'm down to try.
Yeah, probably. Unless you're against like a Yasuo or something.
Yeah.
So, Eli, you wanted to do something fun quick before we get into LCS format changes.
Yes. So, on Twitter this week, Crumbs, I guess, did the math.
The Prophet.
The Prophet Crumbs. So he probably did some divine inspiration. And he posted the total number of Twitter followers that players on each team in the LCS has. And I think it would be fun to compare that to what we had decided was going to be power rankings for the season. And I was actually surprised by a couple of these. So at the top is TSM at 1.58 million, which
TSM,
we had
TSM.
We had Cloud9 at number 1. Second is Team Liquid at 1.42 million, and we had selected Team Liquid to be third. Third place is Dignitas at 829,000. That's a huge drop. It's like a 500,000 follower drop between second and third place. We had Dig at third to last. FlyQuest at 737,000. We had FlyQuest at fourth to last. 100 Thieves at 548,000, which I actually thought 100 Thieves would be more.
Yeah.
Just because the 100
Probably
Thieves
just Meteos, like, and someday carrying them.
Yeah, and we had them kind of middle of the road, so that's about right. Evil Geniuses at 415,000, interchangeable with 100 Thieves. Immortals had 414,000. We had them second to last. Cloud9, third to last in Twitter followers.
That's doesn't
because they lost
Sneaky. Yeah.
I actually don't know how many Twitter followers Sneaky has. Do you know off the top of your head, Logan?
He's a very popular streamer. I can imagine that he has a crap ton, but I would check really quick. I imagine he would pick them right back up.
Yeah, but that's third to last, and we had them at first place.
He has 787.2 thousand followers.
So that would put them right at third.
Yeah.
Golden Guardians at 262,000. We have that second to last. We had them at last place in the power rankings, and CLG with 172,000, the absolute lowest in the LCS. We had them at fourth place. I would be interested to revisit this when the split is over and just see
where we're at.
How much that played into if we were closer with our power rankings, or if just the general populace of Twitter was closer.
Also, when Worlds is over, does the team that wins Worlds have the most Twitter followers?
Okay, that's something. I don't know that that's fair because Korea's going to win, and Korean teams don't really have a lot of Twitter followers. Or China, yeah.
So the more fans you have, the better chance at winning. TSM all the way, baby.
All right.
Go to the Worlds.
I just wanted to go into that. And,
so
I thought that was kind of fun.
Big topic of conversation here for the rest of the podcast. The LCS, Chris Greeley announced some changes to the LCS format, specifically playoffs and academy season, and I guess in Worlds, which also kind of goes into playoffs now. So we're going to go through a lot of them here. We're going to start with the LCS ones. Monday Night League is the new thing. Monday night games, 2 games on Monday night of LCS games. It will start with some, 3 academy games. We'll get into those ones later, but 3 academy games followed by 2 premier matchup Monday night LCS games. What do we think about this? It will reduce. It will also reduce Saturday and Sunday to 4 games.
Yeah, all for it.
I love Monday Night League. I think that's great. I would much rather like come home from work and sit down and go, okay, what are the LCS matches for the night, than invest like my entire Saturday or Sunday to watching the LCS.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of that. I think that's a really good change.
Yeah, I just think it's good shortening the Saturdays and Sundays. Like you would have to wait forever if the team you wanted to watch was, at the end. And it was just, if you wanted to, watch all the games, really follow it closely, like you say goodbye to your weekends. That was what you're doing. So spreading it out, I think, just makes it a lot, honestly, more watchable and easier to digest all the games if that's what you're into.
I have one tiny issue with Monday Night League. I was looking at the schedule for who plays on Monday night. I kind of understand this first one, but so I would say you want, like they say, it's your Premier League matchups for the week. So I would say you probably want your most hype matches of the week to be on that Monday night. Maybe not all the time, but like you definitely want them to some degree. C9 and Team Liquid, the last summer's finals match, will be played on Saturday. Which the first game you do is a rematch from the last game of the last one, so I'll let that one slide. C9 versus TSM is not on Monday night. And let me double check this real quick before I say it, because I don't think CLG no, it's right there. Never mind. Okay. So you get C9. Nope, you don't. Where's that at? Nope, you don't. You don't get C9 and TL at the end of the season. And you don't get C9 TL at the beginning. You don't get C9 TSM at the beginning, and you don't get C9 TSM at the end.
To be fair, though,
I'm just saying,
be those teams on Monday nights all the time.
I'm not saying it has to be all the time. I'm saying that you'd think it would be at least once.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, they only released the schedule for the first 4 weeks.
The teams released the second half, so you can see it already. If you go to each team's individual Twitters and stuff.
Then that I feel like is a mistake. I think they should have saved the scheduling to get more primetime games on the Monday Night League. I didn't realize that part.
So they will still do flex scheduling. So if a matchup's gonna be more hype, they can move it from the beginning of Saturday to the end of Saturday, but they can't change the day. They can only change the time of said day. So I'm just, it's one of those things where it's like, would you rather watch FlyQuest versus 100 Thieves on Monday night, or would you rather watch C9 TSM? I'm not, like I said, it doesn't have to be always. You're right. You're not going to do every Monday night. It's not going to be TSM something. I totally understand. But when you go through all of it, and all it is TL versus Golden Guardian, CLG Immortals, FlyQuest versus 100 Thieves, Fly versus Dignitas, Evil Geniuses versus 100 Thieves. That one might be actually kind of good. That's the first week one. But there's a lot in there where I'm just kind of where's the hype one? Where's the premier match?
Well, it's also hard. I mean, part of it too is it's kind of hard to say, because who knows? Maybe CLG ends up being the worst team in the league, and then all of a sudden you got them and
Immortals or whatever.
Look at the schedule right now, and then it's that's the Monday nights one of the top teams, the worst team. So it's hard to, even if it's namesake, it's hard to be this is a marquee matchup right now. So you got a little bit of that scheduling. There's issues with that, but I'm with you.
The idea obviously is fantastic. We're all football fans here. We all love Monday Night Football is awesome. Oh, yeah. So it's. Sorry, I was taking a drink. All right, so
no worries.
Playoff changes. So playoffs are moving to basically a double elimination bracket. Springtime, nobody gets a bye. Everybody plays the first round. Technically, I guess the bottom two teams get a bye, because the first first seed, 1 through 4 play each other, and then the losers go down to play 5 and 6, and the 1 and 2 immediately play each other. So you get the first and second best team will play each other. The winner goes to the championships. The loser will face the winner of the losers bracket, and then the winner of that one will face the number 1 team again in the actual finals. So hypothetically, because this is what happened last summer, you could get a TL versus C9 match, and then you could get another TL versus C9 match the next week for the actual finals.
Mm-hmm.
What do we like about that? Or
I'm
what do we
a
think
fan.
about that? Yeah, still.
Yeah.
This is the European model, by the way, for those who do not watch LEC. This is how they did their playoff bracket as well.
Yeah, I always liked loser brackets. It's kind of like a redemption arc in a way within a tournament. Team maybe drops one early that they maybe shouldn't have, or maybe they just didn't, show their best stuff, and they got one last chance to get all the way through and make it happen. Also, kind of helps with that whole, I guess the finals is in the quarterfinals. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where like say maybe you have, I don't know, I don't know how this would work, but maybe the records isn't quite there, but everyone's like, oh, the 1 seed and the 4 seed, or however these standings work. Like these two teams, like they have a strong ending. They're clearly the best.
Let's
now
say
it's not like the finals
Team
are
Liquid
there.
is the 1st seed and TSM is the 4th seed. TM beats TSM 3-1. TSM drops down to
Yeah.
losers bracket. They win all the way back up to 2nd place, and then it's TL versus TSM in the finals. And people are like, okay, but TSM like destroyed everybody else. Like now they've got their rhythm. Like let's see if they can do it this time, and then you know they actually win it this time or something like that.
Yeah, so I like it personally.
One of the things that I like about it is what you mentioned football earlier. It's really, really hard to beat a team multiple times in the same season. It's really hard to do that because you don't really change a whole lot about what you're doing when you have success against it, and they're changing to beat what you did before. So adding double elimination to a bracket, you get those revenge games. Then it's like, in your scenario, TSM stomps Team Liquid. They win all the way back up. Okay, now Team Liquid has a better strategy to play TSM. TSM maybe doesn't because they only played the one time. Team Liquid beats TSM. Now you've got one apiece, and that makes the finals that much more interesting.
Yeah.
Does the loser, if neither team, so say like the loser bracket goes up, and this is me maybe just not knowing, to the finals, and the winner's bracket makes it to the finals. If the winner bracket won, the one who made it through the winner's brackets gets the finals and they lose, is it another shot, or is it still, is that just like a one and done?
The 1st and 2nd seed get to face each other, and once the losers bracket makes it to the finals, that is the game. They don't get 2 tries to do it. Okay. It's just the 1st and 2nd seed of the tournament get
up until
if the second seed beats anyone lower than them after losing to the 1st seed, they get a second try.
Okay.
So because they drop down to the end of the losers bracket, then they would win up into the finals. And whoever loses to the 2nd seed is your 3rd place team.
Okay, I misunderstood that.
Summer playoff is basically the same thing, except for it has 8 teams instead of 6 teams. The concept is still the same. It's just the losers bracket is longer. Well, okay, that's not necessarily true though. So, well, yes, the losers bracket is longer, but your 1st and 2nd seed teams have buys at the beginning this time. 3 through 6 play each other. It's like a normal, like the top of the bracket is normal. Your 3 through 6 play each other. Then the lowest seeds go to the 1st seed, and the higher one goes to the 2nd seed. And then whoever wins those 2 goes to the championship game. The winner goes to the actual championship match, and the loser goes down to the losers bracket, and whoever wins that faces them at the top. But the losers bracket obviously has an 8th and 7th seed at the bottom because the losers bracket is actually the gauntlet, because there's no more championship points or anything like that. So anyone who's 8th seed from anyone who enters the losers bracket, if you get all the way to the end and you get to the end of the losers bracket, both those teams are going to Worlds. Whoever loses is the 3rd place seed, and whoever wins has a chance to take the 1. If they don't take the 1, they're the 2. So no more championship, nothing. You fight for each spot in the Worlds for NA now, which is, I think, the best change ever of all time.
Yeah, championship points was dumb.
It was so dumb.
Who cares what you did in the spring?
People are like, oh, but now people don't try in the spring. I don't care. I really don't. Yeah. I don't care if people screw around in the spring. I don't care. I want to know that the 3 teams I send to Worlds are the best teams that we had to offer. Because that whole 100 Thieves, 100 Thieves earned their spot to Worlds. No, they didn't. That's dumb. They were a bad team.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I like that it's kind of even more pressure on the summer. I mean, obviously, yeah, it makes the spring. I mean, I guess they're still, you're still going for MSI. which might
Yeah.
be important. Gives you experience against internationals. So I think it's still like something to, if you're really, one of those top teams that wants to do well at Worlds, you still got to try during that spring so you can kind of get that international experience.
Well, plus MSI is still a trophy. Like everybody likes playing for trophies, likes playing for championships. They get their bonuses, even though it's not a world championship. It's still a championship on a world
pseudo
stage.
World championship. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things I never understood too. And people are like, well, they won't even try in the spring. It's like, well, winning the spring and it's still winning. Like you still you're still the NALCS champions or the LCS
they will
champions.
try because they want to keep their jobs.
Exactly. That's part of it. Yeah, I think it's weird why it's just like 6 in the spring and then 8 in the summer. Also,
well, it's because
except for 2.
Right, 8 is a lot, and I understand that too. Where people are like, well, if you're the so you don't have to even fight for playoffs, you can just get on the 8th. It's like, I mean, you're right, but like you have to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get all the way to the. You have to win 5 best of 5s. Well, okay, you have to win 1, 2, 3. You have to win 3 best of 5s to get to Worlds, and then you have to win 5 to be the first seed if you are the 8th seed, and that is a longer gauntlet run than it used to be.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I like it though. It's more league. And it also helps with a lot with like I don't remember how Clutch Gaming's exact situation was last year or last summer, but like Clutch was like really bad, and then they turned it on at the end, and they ran the whole gauntlet and they made it to Worlds, but like. That's a team that's like, if they were like a 7th seed or whatever and still make it to Worlds, like that's super hype.
Yeah.
C9 ran the whole gauntlet reverse sweeps, and they did well like that Worlds. Like it's just how it goes. And if that's who wins, if you win 4 or 3 best of 5s to get there, then I think by all means, like you deserve to go. It's better than saying like, we had more points, so we deserve to go. So
it opens more doors for like your Cinderella stories, and everybody loves the Cinderella stories when it comes to sports, esports, anything.
Who cares
when the little guy starts winning games, you get hype.
Yeah, who cares about your success from 4 months ago? I want to know who has the best success now. And someone who wins all the best of 3s now, like that's who I want to go play against all the other teams. We'll come back real quick into like some of the spring split stuff when we get done with talking with academy changes. But academy changes now are Friday nights. There is now an event called Academy Rush. There will be 4 games played at once with an analyst desk live, and basically the broadcast will jump in between all 4 games. As exciting things happen, they will show replays of all of the games, and once all the games are done, they will play a standalone 5th game. And the goal of this is it allows the analysts to give more story-driven results, and it allows them to show the hypest moments of the academy, which should improve the stock of the players themselves in hopes to promote more academy players. Then as far as stage time goes, academy games, there'll be 1 played on Saturday and Sunday, 1 each day to replace the lost LCS game because there's 2 on Monday. And there'll be the 3 academy games played Monday before the 2 premier LCS matches. And those are all stage games. None of these are, the Monday night.
The stage.
No, the Friday is not staged. Those are all
Academy Rush is not staged.
Correct, because those are all played at once.
Mm-hmm.
But the Saturday, Sunday, and the Monday games, those are all stage games.
Yeah, get them up there.
I think it'd be more. I think it'd be more exciting. I mean, like if I can just watch like basically one academy game that's a highlight of all academy games, I'd be more willing to do that than to sit down and watch all the academy games. Like, I barely have enough time to watch, like, all the LCS games as it is.
Yeah, no, I like that, too.
I think that, as a result, you're going to lower viewership per game, but raise overall viewership for Academy games. I think that's really the point. So, I'm apprehensive about it, because I feel like it could be a lot of information coming at you.
It's up to the broadcast to handle it correctly.
Right. And it being the first time, I think it's going to be really rough early in the season. And then as they go on, it'll get more and more, refined and easier to watch and more entertaining. But we'll see how it goes. I like that they're trying radically different things to get more people excited about the Academy games, because I really just never cared about them myself.
I read kind of going back to the spring split that I was talking about, I read a really nice article on the opinion of the like spring split doesn't matter anymore because of the removal of championship points. But the article had a really good point on why it matters more now. Basically, because they use FlyQuest for an example. FlyQuest as a team had problems in the last spring, but they they worked as hard as they could to get as many championship points as they could, which basically netted them 40 points because they got to semifinals. They were unable to fix their problems in the turnaround to summer while other teams did, and they crashed and burned and got like 9th place in the summer split. So what this guy was saying is that because you have like an academy rush, you have academy games being broadcasted and highlighted better, you have teams that can, if things aren't working in the spring split, it doesn't matter if they place, like FlyQuest was never going to win the split that season. It doesn't matter if FlyQuest is 2nd place or if they're 10th place now. They can just be like, you know what, let's go get that guy. Like, let's go buy that guy who's playing really well at academy. Let's switch our coach out. Let's switch out other staff. Let's, switch our players around, even on our own academy team or something. And let's try it out and see if we can fix these problems now, so that way when summer rolls around, we're actually ready to compete in the split that matters. And it could create a lot more rotating stories of players and of teams and players in the spring. It's just like a different viewing experience. It could become a different viewing experience than what we're used to, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't necessarily matter.
That's a really good point, actually.
Yeah, I liked it. Because, I mean, the only reward of winning spring, like we said, is you win. Like, you win spring, that's awesome. Then you go to MSI. But if you're the 2nd place team, like, more so than ever, you literally get nothing. Like, you don't even get the championship points to get to Worlds, hopefully. So it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, if you're not going to win it, do you just kind of, a worse spring could make for an even better summer, was, I guess, the end of it. Was like your summer could be even more competitive because more teams are prepared for that big split. But
yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I think the way that they have it set up now, again, like with the tournaments, they set up the Cinderella stories. People will talk about the team that got 8th place in spring split, then got 3rd place in summer split. They'll talk about that, and it opens the door for that more.
Yeah.
It's a lot less like, do you remember the year the TSM was good? It's like, well, which year was that? But like, do you remember the year that Golden Guardians were the worst team in the league, and then they came back and won the tournament because they got a 3 seed in the summer split? Yeah, people remember that one.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Any other thoughts on changes in general for the LCS?
I'm excited.
I'm also
That's
excited.
what that boils down to. Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be great.
The Academy playoffs are much more traditional. Is this the same bracket format they had for LCS last season?
Yep. The spring keeps the same format. Is it spring and summer? Yeah, no, they're spring and summer. It's like old school LCS playoffs because they're just looking for a winner. That's all they care about. We haven't gotten any news on what was it called? The viewing thing that I can't think of right now to watch LCS. You pay $15.
Oh, ProView?
Yeah, ProView. We haven't gotten an update on that about changes or anything or cost or whatnot.
That is weird that they haven't.
I just want them to add the broadcast audio to whatever video I'm watching.
Yeah.
Then I would buy it again. If they don't have that, then I'm gonna pass on it.
Just watching the
what was it?
person,
was
right?
it $15 for a split last season?
Yeah. $15 per split. It was
expect-
just summer.
Do you expect them to keep that price point?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that price point. Like I said, my biggest thing was just that, like, why would I watch like Bjergsen's stream if like there's no casting audio? Like, I'm just watching him play, and it like I don't know what's going on, and like you miss a lot of other things like top lane, bot lane stuff, and you're like, well, you can watch multiple ones at the same time. It's like, you're right, but you can't watch the broadcast at the same time as the player ones, And also when you watch multiple streams, the windows are so small that like
Yeah.
if you're not at your computer, it's really hard to do. Like I tried I love watching like on my TV that's sitting in my room. So I cast it always to that. And it's like, why would I want to watch two small screens where I could watch the big one with the actual broadcasting audio? So,
Yeah.
but that's me. You know, I know there's some people who agree with me on the like not having a broadcaster audio, but some people probably don't need that. Anything else for you boys?
I think I'm good. The Academy games that are played on Monday, are those all normal broadcast? Like,
Yep.
they
There's
just run
3
one show
stage
into the Monday
games.
League?
There are 3 stage games into 3 LCS or 2 LCS
Two
games.
LCS games on Monday night.
Yep.
Okay.
But they're not. One of the things they said that they're not doing ticketed events on Monday. They're not going to sell tickets for those games. They're going to do events like college night and invite like a bunch of college, like nearby college people in to
okay.
watch it. I don't know what else you would do other because I know they use the college night, like high school night as specifics. I don't know what else you would do. Like obviously you have like certain sports do like the Army nights or whatever. They'll have all the Army and Navy come in, but I don't know if that's like something the LCS would do.
Do you think Monday Night League is a format that they could move to other facilities? Like, if they do like Saturday and Sunday LCS in the normal studio, and then let's just say they do Monday Night League in Chicago to get a different viewership in? Like, not this year, obviously, but if they brought that into next year.
That would be interesting because the two teams would have to be playing like on Saturday and they have to immediately fly to like Chicago to get ready for the Monday night game. That might be a little tough, but I could see that maybe in the future.
I'd definitely like to see that to get more. I mean, I know California is kind of the esports crowd, but I think they can do a lot more with traveling to get different viewership in, because I think you will fill arenas.
Yeah.
If you're like, we're going to be in this city one weekend this year.
Yeah.
You know,
please
people come in for that.
to US Bank Stadium. Please, God, come to US Bank Stadium.
We got Call of Duty coming.
I mean,
We
I'd
do
set
have
up
Call
at
of Duty
Staples
coming.
Center.
Yeah.
There's 2 events, I think, this year for the COD team, the Rocker. I think there's only 2.
Well,
Oh,
the
there's one
Rocker
coming up at the Armory.
is owned by the Vikings family, so right?
Right.
So like
Yes. Yeah.
I could see a world where they do a event in I mean like, you know, they're not going to fill it, but like I don't know if there's a hype event or something like and they're chosen to host, like I don't see why not, you know. It's pretty I know the guys got the stadium, by all means we can open it up for a day.
And that can only be good for both organizations.
Yeah. Agreed. Cuz you got a bunch of young people that could come watch Vikings games now, and you're opening up the stadium to make more money. So like why not, you know, more tickets, more food, stuff like that. I totally forgot something to mention. The LPL announced today they're moving to a 7-day broadcast. They will have League of Legends every single day with 17 teams and 7 days of league.
Who is that again?
LPL, Chinese.
Oh man. Oh.
So what?
Won't be
There's
able to watch
17
that, though.
teams. That means there's
They're adding
8 games, and then one team has a bye on a given week.
They're adding 2 teams every year until they hit. I think it's 19. I think 19 is what they wanted to cap at. 19 or 20. But
Jeez.
My goodness. Do they
Massive.
get more bids to Worlds because of that, or no?
No.
I hope not. That'd be dumb.
I agree, it would be done.
I think three is the max that the major regions get. And then some get 2, and then the minors get 1. They'd have to give, if they gave China 4, they'd have to give everyone else 4.
Yeah.
Do they play series, or do they play like best of 2s? Do they play best of 5s?
I think they play best of 3s.
I think it's
Korea
best of
plays
threes,
best
yeah.
of 3s, and I think
Yeah,
they
best
do
of 3 and
too.
best of 2. So
They'd
then
have
every
to.
night they have one best of 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say they'd have to, because you do 2 best of 3s every night, 7 days a week or whatever. 14 games. Well, that's 14 games, too many, but yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
You basically do 1 every single night with like 2 on the weekends, and boom.
I don't hate that. I would like to see them go to a model where they have like one night a week that there's nothing, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But I don't hate the idea. just to fill up more days.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at the very least, you come home, it's like there's no LCS going on, but you know there's an LPL game at some point.
Right. For sure. Well, I think we were getting close. No, we were at the end of our time.
Yes, we are.
For the day, so it's time to say goodbye. Bye.
Say goodbye.
Thank you, everyone, for watching us today. Remember Remember to follow us here on Twitch and Twitter at Talk of the Rift. If you missed any of our other episodes, you can check them out on our Anchor page, anchor.fm/Talk of the Rift. From there, you can find us on virtually all podcast platforms from Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, just to name a few. Don't forget to send us your questions for our live Q&A that we do at the end of the episodes, and we will see you all next week.
Peace.
Bye, everybody.